Um, Lady Ballers, right? I love the commercial, although, like the trailer, I thought it looked good. Thought it looked pretty awesome. But, I mean, you could tell that there was a lot wrong with it. I know some of the clothing, it was purposely supposed to, like the wigs and stuff, it was purposely supposed to look off and weird because it's you know, guys trying to be females, and it's supposed to be obvious that they're not females. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. But it's just so we know, there was movies like Joanna Man and things like that where they did kind of make fun of this type of situation, sort of. But with this movie, I don't know. I watched. I I'll let you know. I didn't watch the whole thing. I know it's full of jokes and stuff that really hit on the whole leftist paradigm and all that stuff. But I really didn't like it. I thought it was kind of boring, and it went on a lot longer than I expected it to. My wife watched the whole thing. Um, she seemed to sort of like it, uh, but as someone that I like watch movies all the fucking time. I love movies. And it felt really kind of cheap, you know. Um, Kind of felt like it was pushed. Tried to run through it real quick, like someone wrote the script and it was just all real quick. Now, I'm not saying could I have made a better film. Um, I don't know. Maybe in certain category, maybe in a different genre, I might be able to make a better film. Comedy, I understand. Comedy is pretty hard to deal with because there's. I mean, I love jokes. I love coming up with jokes, but I'm not very good at making. Like, I'm not good at coming up with jokes and making jokes and stuff. So, I will give them that. There is that, but it does feel rushed. Um, and I was reading up on Reddit. Someone was kind of arguing for it. They're detailing the problems with it, but they're also arguing for it. They're like saying it's basically just for the people that either right wing or people that are big fans of Daily Wire. And that kind of makes more sense. And I kind of believe that too, because while it is real controversial, it's really kind of like milk toast in a way too. So it's kind of like how certain gospel music is. Not all gospel music. I love some gospel music, but there is a lot of stuff where it's just all happy, and like it doesn't really get down into like the grittiness of certain subjects. And I don't know. I guess that's what I felt about this movie is it just didn't hit me in a certain way. There was like not a whole lot of appeal except for me being a right winger. That's basically the whole appeal to it, and I it wasn't enough to keep me watching really. So I mean, tell me what you felt about it in the comments if you'd like. But I mean, I really I didn't like it. Maybe I'll try it again and I'll have a better time. And sometimes that is the way it goes. Sometimes there's movies where I watched it, didn't really like it, didn't get into it, and then I finally gave it a try, maybe weeks or months or even years later on, and I ended up loving it. So I don't know. Maybe it will be that way with this, but um, like it kind of reminded me of a kind of a corny comedy, raunchy comedy from like the early 2000s, and but it didn't have any of the raunchiness. So it was like kind of really odd in a way. Um, Overall, I guess it's probably a good thing, and I think they sped it up and put it out there because this is such a topic that's like right now. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I give props to them for that because it is kind of needed. Excuse me, because the climate right now. So that kind of makes sense. But they were saying they tried to get bigger stars involved and stuff, and they couldn't. in a way, it kind of reminds me of how I make movies. You know what I'm saying? So props to them for that. But they're a lot larger than I am. You know, they're $1 million company worth millions of dollars, actually. Um, and they put movies together so quickly. You know, I'm really wondering how this new Snow White is going to turn out because Daily Wire's making it. So it's not really. I mean, there is some controversy behind it because they're trying to compete with Disney, and Disney kind of screwed the whole pooch on that situation. If you don't know about that, I highly suggest you look it up because the star is bad mouthing the original Snow White. And it's like, why would you do that? The original Snow White, like, you know, I love the old Disney movies. I grew up on them, even though they're like way before my time. You know, I still grow up on those because they're classics. I got them all on VHS, that kind of thing, you know? And, yeah, it was just. And she's backtracking too now at this point, the actress is. But I would highly suggest going and checking that out if you haven't heard about it. So, oh, that thing's dead. So, yeah, I don't know. I felt like I said, I felt like they are putting out these movies before they're really even done. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what I do, and that's not a good thing. But for me, I'm just trying to get myself out there. I haven't broke through on any sort of social media, any like acting, directing. I haven't broke through in any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm I'm an electrician. I'm like a farmer or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I am. I'm not big in any other field. You know, and I'm not even big in those fields. I'm just saying that like what I've made money on are those things. But I've never made money as an actor or anything like influencer on social media, nothing like that. So it would make sense for me to try and speed things up in some ways. So I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a lot more to Lady Ballers than what I'm seeing. But yeah, it didn't keep me hooked and didn't keep me wanting to watch the movie. There was a couple jokes in there that even when I'm not watching it, I kind of heard it and I was like, oh, that's funny. And that's why I watched it in the first place, is because the premise and the jokes that are involved. But it didn't hook me in, you know, and it seemed like a long movie. So I don't know. I don't know. Let me know.